All right, today we are diving deep into the world of one of the most iconic, celebrated, and, deeply controversial poets in the Urdu language, the one and only Jaun Elia.
So, to really understand Jaun Elia, you've got to start right here, with this single, kind of shocking desire. I have had only one desire, that my condition be devastated. Now think about that for a second. This isn't just a line of poetry, it's his entire mission statement. It is the key that unlocks his whole universe of beautiful ruin.
You know, he's often called the poet of pain, but honestly, that's way too simple. He doesn't just write about sadness, he puts it under a microscope. His work is this deep, philosophical exploration of sorrow, a kind of intellectual anarchy where he doesn't just stumble into ruin, he actively goes looking for it. He romanticizes it.
So, where do we even begin to unpack a mind like that? Well, the most common way in, and for good reason, is through his stuff on love and loss. It's really the perfect gateway to his much deeper, much darker philosophy.
Just listen to this. Now, no one can make me believe in love. The one who couldn't forget me has forgotten me. Wow. You can feel the sting in that, can't you? It's the ultimate betrayal. He's not just sad about a breakup. He's mourning the death of the very idea of love itself.
Okay, to really get this, we need a quick primer on two huge concepts in Urdu poetry. Wasl, which is that bliss of being with your lover, and hijr, the absolute pain of being separated from them. Now, for centuries, poets have written about the agony of hijr, but Jaun Elia, he takes it a whole other level.
And this is where his nihilism really kicks in. He basically says, forget about ever getting together, now even the pain of being apart has become meaningless. For him, the suffering has become so constant that even the act of suffering for a lost love, it just loses all meaning.
In this feeling of loss, it doesn't just stop with one person. For Elia, it blows up into this profound existential alienation from, well, the entire world.
I mean, just listen to how total this is. I have been separated from everyone. It's a declaration of complete disconnection. And then it's followed by that haunting question, if I'm gone from everyone's life, who's even left to remember I was sad?
We're not talking about everyday loneliness here. In his own words, he's a stranger in the city of existence. Can you imagine that? Feeling like a tourist in your own life, an alien on your own planet. That's the level of alienation he's talking about.
Okay, this brings us to the real intellectual heart of his work. See, it's one thing to experience loss, but it's something else entirely to choose it, to welcome it, and that is Jaun Elia's embrace of ruin.
My very being is a shop of loss. What a metaphor, right? For him, loss, or ziyan, isn't something that just happens to him. It's what he's made of. It's the only product on his shelves.
So in the end, where does this all lead? To this devastatingly simple conclusion. He says, reason was true, love was a lie. He puts the cold, hard logic of the mind up against the beautiful, messy illusion of the heart. And for him, reason always wins. It's brutal.
You can actually trace this whole descent into self-destruction through his own words. It's like this chilling three-step process. First, he loses control. I no longer have control over myself. Then, step 2, he just gives it away. You, take me in your control. And finally, the inevitable conclusion, my dear, the heart has committed suicide. It is a complete and totally willing destruction of the self.
So after all this darkness, all this ruin, we're left with this huge paradox. Why does a poet who championed oblivion, who wanted to be forgotten, mean so much to so many people? Well, the answer is in his undying story.
The thing is, he knew this was going to happen. He writes, I won't be in your gathering, but my stories will be. He was so aware that even after he was gone, these raw, painful, unforgettable tales would stick around. He might be absent, but his legend would echo through the room.
And that is the central irony that defines his legacy today, isn't it? A man who wrote endlessly about finality, about endings, about loss, has somehow achieved a kind of literary immortality. New generations just keep finding him, and they keep seeing their own pain reflected in his words.
He even predicted it himself with this line, which is just astonishingly prophetic. He says the things he utters in madness, in this state of passionate frenzy, will become eternal. And you know what? He was right. It's his madness that made him immortal. So, this leaves us with one last question to chew on. Why does spelling out pain and loss and ruin in such detail, why does that make for such an eternal and compelling story?
Jaun Elia might have lived as a shop of loss, but in doing so, he left all of us this incredible treasure of art that just refuses to fade away.